seems strange, but I was out walking the dogs in these woods one day, thinking, how can we put Carbridge on the map? There's other little villages that hold competitions. Tiddlywinks, conkers, stone skipping across the water competitions, rated as world championships. And I thought, what can we do for Carbridge? It came to my mind that a competition making porridge, and you think, well, anybody can make porridge, but they can't.
My name is Neil Robertson. I owned and run the Tannochbury Tea Room for 20 years now. During the process of running the tea room, I invented a double-back spoon called the Spawn, as a result of which I decided to publicise it by entering the World Porridge Championships. I entered it for the first time in 2009, and had such a good time I went back in 2010 and won it. I then went on to win the speciality competition in 2011. As a result of winning 2010, the publicity was incredible because I won it back from America. And so I was invited to do all sorts of things, including cooking porridge for the First Minister and the Scottish Cabinet at Bute House. One of the things I was asked to do was cook porridge for Jay Rayner for the One Show. The idea was I would cook my traditional porridge and Jerry Ray, their head chef, would cook a more anglicised porridge and Jay Rayner would compare them. Mine was considered the best on the day, obviously. But Jerry cooked porridge with cinnamon, brown sugar and double cream and finished it with a cranberry compote. And I liked it. It was quite a nice dish, but I felt I could do something more with it and make it more Scottish as well in the process. So I made mine. I found the porridge was too claggy using double cream, so I cooked it first with some water to plump up the oats and then finished it with double cream. The cinnamon's also a raw spice, so I toasted the cinnamon lightly in the oven with a little bit of nutmeg as well, so it wasn't so harsh in the porridge. The sugar I didn't feel contributed much apart from flavour, so I used honey instead to give some aroma as well, mixed with the spices, which was quite nice. And then I got some experimental variety blueberries from Invercowrie, which I made the compote with on top. Usually when I'm experimenting, I make 3 bowls of the sample dish. I have one in the tea room here for customers to try. I send one to the chemist next door for the girls there to try, and one to the guys in the garage round the corner here for them to try, just to get as much feedback as possible. They find it very amusing. They think it's just a sort of comedy thing almost. Usually they first realise that I've won the title when they visit my toilet, because I have a framed picture of me with Alex Salmond and my trophy on top of the cistern in my tea room toilet, which entertains them as well. But then they find out just how far-reaching the competition is. I won the traditional title back from America, the speciality I won back from Canada. Our current champion, Benedict, is in Germany, and our current speciality champion is Laurie Figoni in California. It really is a world competition. The standard is incredibly high every year, and obviously the new competitors, you just don't know what they're coming up with. That was 2 new competitors won the titles last year. But yeah, being in the 2 trophies club, I suppose, John Boa has also won the traditional title, but he won the People's Choice Award last year. And I guess he's going to be a man to take on. And of course you can't ever write off Ian Bishop, who's been doing it for, this will be his 20th year, and apparently it's last year. He's only actually won once, but my goodness, he's the guy that will knock you out the final though.
My name's Ian Bishop, and we're here today at the Slocht, and I've been doing the competition now for 20 years. This will be the 20th year, and it just seems as though I've been cooking porridge forever. I didn't really know much about porridge other than eating it way back 20 odd years ago when this competition started, and I had a good friend in the village, Duncan Hilditch, who was an incredibly good chef, and it came to pass that, hey, we're going to have this competition he said, "You must be in this competition, Ian." I said, "Duncan, I don't know anything about cooking porridge." "No problem, I'll teach you. Don't stop stirring," he says. And I remember in the competition, he was at the other side of the room and I was there, and we were both going for it. And I said to him, "I've got full of lumps." "Stir like bugger," he said. Whoa! So we're really going for it. And Duncan won so many times. He was such a clever guy when it came to food produce. I got nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. But it was good fun. People got to taste the porridge after the judges had finished with it, and that was so important to people. Go through and, "Oh, that's a good plate of porridge. Oh yes." Nobody talked about mining these days, but things moved on. When I won when it probably happens to everybody, but I mean the media coverage is absolutely full on, and I'm cooking porridge in the lodge for the man that does the news in Aberdeen, me. It's just so remarkable. One of the big things for me is I go to Sweden as a judge, because you've got to remember that in way back, I reckon every country had its porridge or some kind of product. So they have the championships in Scandinavia, and I go over and I'm a judge over there, and that's great. One of my secret weapons early on in the competition was the fact that my water comes from a borehole, which is 100 feet down, just over 100 feet, and into a lovely underground stream. Although early on it didn't seem to make much difference because I didn't win. I think a lot of the competitors in the competition now bring their own water. This is a fantastically easy thing to make, quick and absolutely inexpensive. I've got a grandson who absolutely loves his granddad making him porridge. I can't get over that. I'm the Swedish granddad, so I'm Farfar, and Farfar makes porridge, and I add all these things onto it. And you know, I had the chips of apple, and maybe if he wants some sultanas or raisins or something like that, and we just make things that are really nice. And that's the porridge ready. Now that is a nice consistency, yeah? What I like to do is just put on a little cinnamon, homemade jam, yeah? Just put a homemade jam. We've got some apple and some pear. This is so cheap. That's what I would sell it on. I mean, you can make it in minutes, but there we go. A few raisins, sultanas. There we go. Does that look scrumptious or what? I can't tell you how good this is. I really can't. Can't put it into words. Yeah, I think the plan this year is to absolutely get it right. I mean, I've got to just absolutely focus on it and get it spot on, as everybody else will be. So the training has been hard, feverish, and I think I've said before, I feel like an Olympic athlete sometimes, you know. But, so we've got to have it dead on.
I mean, the reception the night before is great fun. We have a laugh, we have a joke, a few drinks. When it comes to the competition, there's still a bit of joking goes on, but it starts to get a bit edgy because it is a serious competition. People do take it incredibly seriously.
the porridge.
Now, the purpose of the event today is twofold. One is to ascertain who will take the highly coveted golden spurtle. Also, we have the speciality porridge. Now, the speciality porridge over the years has just grown enormously. Can I please introduce you to our three judges? We have George McIver, our master chef here. Also, Neil Monk from the very famous Gleneagles Hotel. Author and broadcaster Cameron McNeish, who you've probably read and seen on television. So, ladies and gentlemen, please light your fires. Let's start the first heat of the 20th World Porridge Making Championships. And now to Neil Robinson.
We're looking for colour, texture, flavour, aroma, all the good stuff that you expect from a good bowl of porridge. Clearly, if the oats ain't fresh, of the freshest quality, then you're going to have good porridge.
That's it, looking good now.
For my speciality dish this year, I decided to do a savoury dish. It's always been one of my things to take porridge off the breakfast table and put it onto the dinner table. So this year I cooked the porridge with shallots, garlic and mushrooms through it, and topped it off with pan-fried with venison chorizo, roasted tomatoes, and some grated Ainster cheddar cheese.
Combination of flavours,
It does for me. It does for me, and I've never thought of having.
Porridge is not, there's not a lot you can do with porridge, so how about a speciality? And, well, what do you mean a speciality? You add things to the porridge. Now, there are people that eat porridge pure and simple, oatmeal, water, bit of salt, bit of milk or cream or something. But I mean, I like it with golden syrup, in actual fact, or honey. And I'm sure other people put lots of things in their porridge. There are some delicious tasting things.
For me, I stick to the basic porridge and three different things in it, and that'll do me. So it's enough for me to concentrate fully on the simple three ingredients and get it right. I mean, you can see the people at the competition that are doing both categories. They're absolutely and they're jumping about, and it's just crazy. And I thought, this is not really for me. I'm quite calm, and I want to stay with the focus on the one recipe.
Now we have number 7, Mr. Ian Bishop.
I couldn't believe I got through the final, into the final.
Please now compete for the 20th World Porridge Making Championships. Thank you.
Cameron, you felt there was many dishes there that sustained you for going up the hill?
Absolutely. I had no idea people could do so much with porridge. I mean, my porridge in the class has been a quick plate of porridge in the morning, maybe some flapjacks during the day, some oat cakes later on, but I've had a whole new world open up to me now, and I can see me going off to the hills now with a whole set of bits and pieces planned to the pot. It's been a real eye-opener.
We can only have one winner, unfortunately. I wanted to give it to 3, but I'm not being allowed. But the winner of this year's speciality is Mr. Nick Bernard. This is probably the best year we've had in the final. We had several really good porridges this year in the final. Sometimes in the final it's easy, there's hardly any debate. But taking my great friend that's just become here, Cameron's advice, and Neil, in the end we came to the same decision. There can only be one winner. And the winner of the 2013 Golden Spurtle, again, Mr. John Boa!
I don't feel I should be getting emotional, but somehow, second time around, inside of 3 years, in my third only attempt, and the third year I picked up a prize, I'm just overwhelmed and delighted. Thank you very much.
Very well deserved.
I couldn't believe I got through the final, into the final. I mean, and then I'm standing there slightly nervous, thinking, I cannot win this. And I didn't win it. And it actually was a little bit of a relief, you know. I mean, to go out on a high as it would have been winning it, that's for sure, but no, to get through into the final was marvellous, marvellous. Yeah, I'll hang up the spurtle. That's a good thing to do, isn't it? Yeah.